Okay, tonight we have a special treat tonight. We have three former our great drum majors going to speak to you tonight about preserving the legacy, which is the theme for the evening. Our first speaker is Mr. Sandy Biles Sr. He's from Waynesboro, North Carolina, a retired Army veteran with 22 years of service with the Army. He's a member of the NCCU Marching Sound Machine family, serving as drum major from 1972 to 1976. Mr. Biles has been married for 33 years with a wonderful wife, also a father of 4 and grandfather of 5 children. Currently he resides in Evans, Georgia. He continues showing his love for music as the lead singer for his cover band, Sandy B and the All-Stars. Mr. Sandy Biles Sr., give him a hand.
Band! Oh, that's okay. Had a flashback. Okay. Everybody get your composure. And Evans, Georgia is in Augusta, Georgia. And you know what? Along with that, I feel good. No. Wow. Yeah. But anyway, good evening. Good evening. I'm here to speak to you on the importance of preserving history of our band program. I don't have much to say and I don't have much time up here, so I'm going to get right to it. In order to talk about the importance of something, one must first know what it is. So I looked up the word history and preserving. Now ultimately, the definition of history is a branch of knowledge and records dealing with the past, notable, important, and interesting events. The definition for preserving, according to Webster, states to keep alive or extensive, safe from harm and injury, protect or spare, to keep up, maintain, retain, finally, to prepare so as to resist decontamination, make lasting. Now, when I think of the band program that I was in as drum major from 72 to 76, then under the direction of Mr. Willie Williams and Dr. Mitchell. Mr. Williams was my band director for 3 years. Dr. Mitchell came in my senior year. Yeah, we had some ups and downs, some fights, disagreements, but we were a family. I always noticed the drive that my directors had. When you have a true, listen to me, when you have a true love and a passion for the program, that counts for a lot. Everything we were to be, we saw it in our band directors. Okay? We trusted him. We trusted each other. If we watched the video from last year, you know that much like the program now, we too faced challenges, but we got through them together. Trials will come, haters will come, but the band must continue. When you think of preserving the history of the band, I hope you see the love, dedication, discipline that was instilled in us through our band directors. From talks with my daughter, who is a band alumni, I can tell through her that her band director, Mr. Reid, and my band directors were somewhat on the same sheet of music. So that lets me know in some way that the band is still in good hands. In closing, I challenge you to see your history is important because it shows you where you come from and where you're going. So my challenge to you is to provide that for the generations to come. Show them the path, the importance, the dedication, drive, the discipline, and love for our program. I didn't allow my daughter to slack when she was in the band. So when your children come along, don't let them go to A&T. Don't let them slacken the program. Stay on top of them, okay? Now, trust your leaders, protect your band, and continue to press towards the vision. The vision will be set by the band director. That is the history of the program you're in now. Maintain it and keep building it in a positive way. Before I sit down, I would like to say, I love the band. Can y'all say that? I love the band. So with that being said, I truly want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for allowing me to be here this evening to speak to you just these short words. I could go on and on, but my daughter couldn't come, so she said, Dad, I know you got a lot to say. Just stick to the script. And when you finish with the script, sit down. And I'm not going to talk about the time we went to Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., Atlanta, and different places. So once again, thank you for this opportunity, and may God continually bless you. Thank you.
Mr. Sandy Biles, Sr. Next, we will have Staff Sergeant Stephen Edgerton. He's known to everyone here as Toothpick. From Durham, North Carolina. After going to Winston-Salem University, I'm not sure why he did that, he transferred to NCCU. He played tuba for 1 year, then became drum major in 95 through 97. He's a member of Kappa Kappa Psi Zeta Sigma Chapter 395. After graduation, he joined the Army Band where he served for 14 years, performing in several countries, including a tour in Baghdad, Iraq. Currently, he is at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, with his wife of 12 years, Heather, 5-year-old daughter, Desiree, and a son on the way, right? Any day now. Everybody, here is Toothpick, Staff Sergeant Stephen Edgerton.
Wow. Well, I did have a few notes, but as some of y'all kind of saw on Twitter, I ended up getting a flat tire on my way through, so there might be a bum over in East Durham with some good notes, maybe trying to tell somebody. I would like to tell the story. I'm so humbled by how everyone treats me and kind of the reputation, because small story uh, the spring of about 94, Mr. Kaysen called me to the second floor of the music building, to the theory classroom. Sat there and talked to me. I kind of knew what it was about. He was like, I want you to think about, being drum major next year. Back then, he kind of appointed us. So he's like, I want to think about being drum major, and, I believe this and that. I kind of zoned him out after he said that. But when he was done, I was like, Mr. Kaysen, I think that that's a weak position. And I said that because in my heart and in my mind, I felt that I was of more use, of more value as a tuba player, contributing to the band, contributing to the sound, contributing to the field, than, being up front doing what drum majors do. And he was like, okay. And began to talk to me a little about leadership, and at the end he was like, so if you want to decide that the infectious positivity that you portray and your enthusiasm and your dedication, you want to keep that at the level where you are, then you're the weak one. And the first thing I thought was, this little man just called me a punk. But Mr. Kaysen, he was a man of small stature, but of larger mentality. So, the rest of it was, kind of history. I'm here to talk to you about giving back to the community on other ways aside from financially. And I can kind of say, standing here in this uniform that you see, is a little apparent. as I have pledged my life to give to the freedoms of the United States, as well as many of you. Thank you. But I believe in support, and I believe that that influence goes further than just being in band and just being at North Carolina Central. You know, I think that financial support and moral support should not be compared, but should be balanced. Financial support is extremely important to support the resources that are needed to sustain the band. But the moral support is as well equally important to sustain the heart and the dedication that keeps the legacy going. And I think back to last homecoming. Some of you noticed that there was an old guy out there in the warm-up suit with the drum majors. Some of y'all might have recognized as me. But that was a very large point for me, not because I realized I could do it, but I could keep up, though you didn't see the pounds of Tiger Balm rubbed on later, the smell of liniment in my house. But it was more to show support for many of you, to show support for the marching sound machine. As I've always been a realist, I know that there are many who have come with me, who have left with me, who don't share the same sentiment as me as far as the Army band, as far as the band goes. But I will say this, I believe in the heart of every alumni, you should always want after you to be better than you. Always. You never want to come back and compare and be able to say, oh, yeah, man, it was better where we was. You know, we was the bomb, you know, blah, blah. It's like, okay, cool, you had your time. Time continues. And if everything is going well, then you don't even want to speak about your time aside from the fact that you helped sustain the legacy. So many of you that are marching right now, that are in the band right now, and even some of you that are trying to come out right now, just think about how you feel when that whistle blows and you see all that crowd out there screaming for the marching sound machine, all those sweat and those tears that you put in learning that dance routine after hours, or helping that uncoordinated person beside you learn the dance routine. And you remember that when you depart. So after you send your money, after you send and support the band boosters, aside from that, you pat somebody on the back that's there now. You write a letter, you make a phone call. It's so much easier now because we have so many more social outlets. You know, there's nothing wrong with sending a tweet supporting. And those of you that follow me and that kind of keep up with me, y'all know I do that, right? I go to battle in a minute, you know, but it's just the pride that I have and the pride that I would like to keep the legacy. No matter where I go, I'll travel the world. All this up here that you see, looks nice, but behind each medal, it states service. Service. These were obtained for service. And I ask you to transfer that service as you continue about your life and as your careers to help sustain the rest. Thank you.
One more time for toothpick, y'all. Our last speaker is Mrs. Joan Connor. From Fayetteville, North Carolina. She's a 2003 summa cum laude graduate of NCCU with a bachelor's degree in music education with both vocal and instrumental concentrations. Spring 2000, member of Tau Beta Sigma, National Honorary Man Sorority Incorporated, Epsilon Lambda Chapter. She also was a two-term chapter president. In the marching sound machine, she was piccolo section leader, piccolos, and a drum major for the 01 to 03 seasons. Also a student conductor for the symphonic band. She has taught for over 10 years and currently is the band director and choir director at Hope County High School in Rayford, North Carolina. Mrs. Joan Connor.
Thank you for that introduction. I serve the bands at Hope County High School along with my husband, Charles Connor, who is the director of bands, where I am the associate director, and our 3-year-old daughter, Evelyn Anna. Musicianship, allegiance, revelation, creativity, harmony, inspiration, nerve, guidance, scholarship, order, uniformity, numbers, dedication, morals, appreciation, commitment, humility, integrity, notoriety, energy. Like seeds planted in fertile soil, building a tree with roots that run deep, before my time and before all of your time as well. What type of seed are you? Are you a flowering plant that just likes to have titles like section leader or drum major or all this or that? Or are you part of the root? Person that shows up on time with their music learned, not just the notes, the articulations, the rhythm, dynamics. Does somebody have to remind you and tell you? When the bus gets ready to roll, are you still in bed? When the whistle blows, is your foot still on the ground? Each one of us every day have a chance to be the seed that makes the strongest root. So today I appeal to preserve the legacy. The very best thing that each one of us can do is be the best seed that we can be. That's the best way to support your directors, is to just show up. And by showing up, that doesn't mean just occupying a space. That means showing up not for practice, but for rehearsal. Not showing up in my letters, oh, I'm out, I got my letters. Or I'm here to tell you what to do. But show up like I'm here to serve with a humble heart and a helpful attitude. Show up to work. And if you show up to work, everything else will come. So to me, the most important thing that you can do to continue and to preserve the legacy is show up. And when you show up, encourage someone else to do the same. Not to tear them down, but to build them up. Because if you just show up for you to get the spotlight on the 50, tomorrow won't be nobody on the 50. Thank you.